me, I make mistakes just like everyone else, but I try to be the best that I could be for myself. Never copying a movement or a trend. Instead I cop a couple pens and I always write the truth till the end. Never falling all into a lie. I despise those who do to themselves just to make them look tight, picking up the new slang and claiming they got game. But the best game is that you always stay the same. Remain away from those who insist that you change, lying to yourself thinking it's okay. Living life trapped in all angles like a cage. Me, I escape through the gates of the fake and live my life true so my soul they don't take, and break away from all these chains that cause hate and live life.
Imagine that.
Living life if it was you, what would you do if these problems came through?
Imagine that.
Living life if it was you, what would you do if these problems came through? My mind is immaculate, never strained off imperfection. My thoughts are half you lost in 1 second. My perception of the world is viewed with dark sections. That children walk home with violence in their direction, blinded from the essence, not knowing of their surroundings. Passing drug houses and stepping on pissy couches. The corner lurks with drug fiends carrying all their ounces. All the problems seen, but dig deeper in the seams. All the things this child sees before he turns teen. Living in a one-room tenement with 5 sisters and brothers. No dad but had a strong mother, doing what she could to make sure that the rent was covered. In the winter 10 feet stick way past the covers. Mom's tucking them tight, giving each a kiss goodnight. She cries wishing she could give her kids a better life, cause she knows that the way they living now ain't right.
Imagine that.
Living life if it was you, what would you do if these problems came through?
Imagine that.
Living life if it was you, what would you do if these problems came through? He came back from fighting over the seas. All he could remember was death and deceit. Never believed in killing, but he had to bring his body back in one piece. Been fighting for his country, all they gave him back was the streets. Been sleeping on concrete for weeks, back aching. No liver relations or someone he could stay with. So the streets became his home. Didn't have nowhere to go, so he roamed. Stayed in the streets night after night all alone. The only thing he owned were the clothes on his back, and he couldn't get a job cause he's homeless and black. They ignored the fact that he was shipped back from Iraq, and that only made the matters get worse. He served his purpose, but his life is now ruined, worthless, cursed. Only peace conquers hate on this earth in this life. Living life if it was you, what would you do if these problems came through?
Imagine that.
Living life if it was you, what would you do if these problems came through?
Imagine that.
By the way, I didn't look none of these stories up on the internet. You know, I'm just speaking from the heart, cause I know somebody out there is going through it. Peace.